Is it possible for Elon Musk's new hydrogen car to be produced in 2023? Introduction. Welcome to the show, where we tackle the hot-button issues and controversial topics of today. And today, we're talking about Elon Musk's latest venture, a hydrogen-powered car set to hit the market in 2023. Is it possible for this game-changing vehicle to be produced on such a tight timeline? Or is Musk just making empty promises? Let's dive in and examine the facts, but be warned, this conversation may get heated. Where did the speculation begin from? Elon Musk made a pretty shocking announcement on Twitter recently, saying that he's planning to switch Tesla over to hydrogen power in 2024. Can you believe it? After years of skepticism, he's now saying that hydrogen is the way of the future. He also mentioned that the first vehicle to roll out with this new technology will be called the Model H. Now, if you're like me, you might be wondering why the sudden change of heart. Well, it looks like Musk and his team ran into some problems with mass producing their 4680 batteries, and they're looking for a new solution. And what can we expect from the Model H? Well, it's said to be similar in size to the Model X and Model Y, and it'll be part of the crossover segment, which is one of the most popular body styles on the market today. And of course, being a Tesla, it'll have some pretty impressive features, like the Hindenburg mode, that uses onboard hydrogen to give you a rocket-like boost. It's said to be able to hit 60 miles per hour in just 1.2 seconds. But of course, that'll drain the range pretty quickly. The estimated range is 451 miles, but that's with some pretty aggressive driving. And that's not all. Tesla insiders are saying that we can also expect to see a hydrogen-powered Model 2 in 2025, which will be a compact hatchback with a range of 400 miles. This could make hydrogen vehicles more affordable and accessible than they are now. How would a hydrogen-powered car work? A hydrogen-powered car, also known as a fuel cell vehicle, works by converting hydrogen gas into electricity through a process called electrolysis. The hydrogen is stored in tanks on the vehicle and then pumped into the fuel cell stack. Inside the stack, the hydrogen is combined with oxygen from the air to create electricity, which powers the electric motor of the car. Water vapor is the only byproduct of this process, making it a clean and efficient way to power a vehicle. The fuel cell stack acts as a sort of battery for the car, but instead of having to be charged like a traditional battery, it creates its own power through the reaction of hydrogen and oxygen. This means that a hydrogen-powered car can be refueled quickly, much like a traditional gasoline-powered car, and has a similar range. However, there are some challenges in implementing hydrogen fuel cell vehicles on a large scale. One of the biggest challenges is the lack of hydrogen fueling infrastructure, as well as the high cost of producing hydrogen fuel and the lack of a mature supply chain. Additionally, hydrogen fuel cell vehicles currently cost more than their electric vehicle counterparts. Despite these challenges, the technology is advancing, and the interest in hydrogen fuel cell vehicles is growing as the world is moving toward clean energy and reducing carbon emission. Would hydrogen-powered cars phase out electric cars? We have to point out that from facts, it is unlikely that hydrogen-powered cars would completely phase out electric cars in the near future. Both technologies have their own unique advantages and disadvantages, and it is likely that they will coexist in the market. Electric cars, also known as battery electric vehicles or BEVs, have several advantages, including the fact that they have no emissions and are powered by clean energy sources. They also have relatively low operating costs and can be recharged at home or at public charging stations. Furthermore, the technology for electric cars is more mature and has been around for longer, so the cost of production has decreased over time. Hydrogen-powered cars, also known as fuel cell electric vehicles or FCEVs, have their own advantages, such as a longer range and the ability to be refueled quickly, much like traditional gasoline cars. They also have zero emissions, as the only byproduct is water vapor. However, the infrastructure for producing and distributing hydrogen fuel is not yet as well developed as for electric cars, and the cost of production is still relatively high. It's likely that in the near future, both technologies will continue to coexist and target different segments of the market, with electric cars being the main option for short and medium range travel, and hydrogen cars being the best option for longer distance travel and heavy-duty use. It's also important to note that the adoption of these technologies will depend on the availability of charging and fueling infrastructure, government policies, and the cost of the cars and the fuel. Now for the big question. With the current technology, how possible is it for Elon Musk to produce a hydrogen-powered car this year? It would be challenging for Elon Musk to produce a hydrogen-powered car using current technology in 2023. While the technology for hydrogen fuel cell vehicles has advanced significantly in recent years, there are still several challenges that need to be addressed before mass production can occur. First, the infrastructure for producing and distributing hydrogen fuel is still in its early stages, and it would take time to establish the necessary networks for fueling hydrogen vehicles on a large scale. Second, the cost of producing hydrogen fuel is still relatively high, and the technology for producing it at large scale is not yet mature. Third, hydrogen fuel cell vehicles are still more expensive than their electric vehicle counterparts. Finally, the development of a new vehicle, from design to production, typically takes several years. Even with the existing technology and resources, it would be a significant challenge to produce a hydrogen-powered car within a year, even for the great Elon Musk. This is, of course, objectively speaking. Anything can happen. Conclusion. Well, folks, that's all the time we have for today's discussion on Elon Musk's hydrogen-powered car. It's clear that the technology and infrastructure are there, but whether or not the car will actually be produced in 2023 is still up for debate. Some argue that Musk's track record and innovation make it possible, while others say that the tight timeline and lack of widespread hydrogen fueling infrastructure make it unlikely. One thing is for sure, the future of transportation is rapidly changing, and we will have to wait and see what the outcome of this ambitious project will be. But one thing is for sure, it is a topic that will spark many more conversations and debates in the future. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. We'll see you next time.